Biggest story of all was undoubtedly Arkansas 89, Kentucky 79. Massive win for Calipari, probably his biggest post-Kentucky win. Man, let's break it down. Now, Kentucky started the game 5 for 6 from 3 in the first 8 minutes. They're up 30-25. They ended the game, and the final 32 minutes of the game, they went 5 for 17 from 3. They lost in that span. They got outscored 64-49. So, I want to ask this. We saw Kentucky's flaws. We saw their flaws. I mean, it's been nothing but positive feedback for them all year, and that's justified. They've had an amazing season. Mark Pope has had that team dialed. But they're giving up 76.5 points per game. That's 304th in Division I. So I want to ask you this question because this is a very important question to ask in March. If Kentucky isn't making their shots, who are they? How can they win? How can they consistently win games? It happens. Again, it happens in March where these teams will go cold. And it happened to those Mark Pope BYU teams that lost in the first round that were seeded pretty highly and lost to Duquesne as an 11. Or when UCLA was an 11. Look, man, this Kentucky team's very good offensively, but they're not perfect. Now, there were times when watching the game, they would lack communications on screens. And this is where Lamont Butler, he wasn't playing, comes into factor because he's typically the dog. He's the guy that will communicate, that will pressure the ball. That's his role. They didn't have them. That is a very notable thing to state. Very notable. But man, times where a screen would happen and no one would play up on the shooter and they would just leave a three-point shooter open. Ivisic for Arkansas, he was 4 for 7 from 3. He had a lot of open threes. A lot. There are also times, man, where Kentucky dudes, whether it was Wagner or Davis, would just let him blow by off the dribble, and Arkansas and Kentucky wouldn't be able to do anything about it. It would just leave shooters open. Also, this is a little bit uncharacteristic of Kentucky. We know the defensive flaws, but offensively, well, they averaged 10.7 turnovers per game. That's in the top 60 for least turnovers in college basketball. 14 turnovers. 14 turnovers for Kentucky. That's not a lot, but Arkansas, look, man, this was the difference in the game right here. Arkansas won by 10. They outscored Kentucky in fast break points 18-5. The athleticism by Arkansas, because, man, we know this is a talented team that Calipari has, unquestionably. But the biggest thing has been, can they put it all together? And what did they do? Well, use their athleticism, pressured the ball, created a lot of fast breaks. I mean, the times where I saw like a Carter Knox or Adu Thiero open fast break dunk, too frequent for Kentucky to win. Yeah, they weren't able to contain Davis or Wagner off the dribble. Got a lot of blow-bys. I mean, 14 assists to 3 turnovers. You ask me, how did Arkansas win this game? DJ Wagner and Johnell Davis had 14 assists and 3 turnovers between the two of those players. That's a major identity stat. So yeah, we asked 2 questions here. The 2 main questions of this game that I concluded. Is Kentucky two-dimensional enough to win in March? And is this a turnaround game for Arkansas? Because this is a young team, man. We know how these young teams typically operate and see what they do. Well, if they do turn it around, if they do, I guarantee you, we are going to point to this game and say, this is when they turn it around. Because the X factors for Arkansas are 2 guys, and it's in the backcourt. It's who I've talked about already. It's DJ Wagner and it's Johnell Davis. Where those 2 go, Arkansas will go. Now, might I tell you, these are capable guys. DJ Wagner was the high school Gatorade Player of the Year. I mean, go look up his highlights at Camden High, man. They were awesome. He was nuts in high school. People forget that. Johnell Davis for Florida Atlantic averaged 18 points on 41% three-point shooting on a Final Four team. He's more than capable. So these 2 guys are capable. So these 2 highly touted transfers. Why has Arkansas been in a slump? Why haven't they been able to put it together? Well, they were 1-6 in conference play coming into this game. In the month of January, DJ Wagner shot 19% from 3. Okay? DJ Wagner against Arkansas, or against Kentucky, mind I tell you, had 17 points, 7 for 13 from the field, and 2 for 4 from 3. Well, here's an interesting stat for you. In wins, in Arkansas's wins this year, DJ Wagner is shooting 43% from 3, 21-49. In losses, DJ Wagner is shooting 5 of 28 from 3, 18%. 18%. What about John L. Davis? John L. Davis, he had 18 points, 7 for 14 from the field, 3 for 6 from 3. Well, in wins, John L. Davis, 45% from the field, 36% from 3. How about losses? 29% from the field and 25% from 3. You know why Arkansas won this game? Because DJ Wagner and John L. Davis were able to operate on the floor. They got whatever they wanted, whenever they wanted, however they wanted. Arkansas shot 52% from 3 for a reason, folks. And yes, a part of that was due to Kentucky's defensive flaws. That became glaringly obvious in the sequence of events when watching the game. But Arkansas just blew by him off the dribble. Wagner and Davis created. Carter Knox played well. Some things we have not seen from Arkansas in SEC play started to happen. And man, I say this again, this is how these young teams work. They struggle, and then all of a sudden, look up in January and February and March. Oh, they're kind of heating up. Oh, this Arkansas team could be for real. This could be the game that we point to.